we was talking about sickle cell, and I don't like talking about sickle cell. And bro, before we even go any further, I said I don't have sickle cell. I have super cells. He was like, "Ooh, you don't know what you just said." Now, at that point in time, I didn't know what I said because I thought I was just saying something that was cool, but that became the mantra of my life.
What's going on, world, and welcome back to the Pursuit of the Good Life podcast, your favorite podcast that helps you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host with the most, your favorite coach, the Kameron Lovelace, helping you create your version of the good life every single Thursday. I hope y'all are doing phenomenal today because we have a phenomenal guest. Y'all know I like to talk about getting the bag. I like to talk about business, but y'all know that I always say before you can grow professionally, you got to grow personally. And so to help me do that, I brought in an up-and-coming empowerment speaker. Y'all, he's got a story. I've heard him speak before, so y'all know I don't just bring anybody on the podcast. I bring people who can add significant value. So without further ado, please give a warm round of applause as I introduce Mr. Marz Bishop. Marz, welcome to the show. What's going on?
How you doing, sir? Thank you for having me. I'm very appreciative of being here today.
Man, thanks for coming on the show. So tell the people a little bit about yourself. Where you from, who you claim, and all that good stuff.
Well, my name is Marz Bishop, as you said. Originally was born in Long Island, New York, so I'm a New York native.
Okay.
Just trying to do my best to make the biggest impact I can with the short amount of time that I have here on this earth.
Big facts. So tell people a little bit about let's back all the way up. What makes Marz Bishop different from any other speaker? Because you got it. Some people got that it factor, but what separates you from other people that say are motivational speakers?
Well, I think that's just it, Cam. I think for one, I don't consider myself a motivational speaker because motivation is a battery jump, and basically, empowerment, I want to touch your spirit. I want to create change within you, not just to bring you hype, not just to entertain you, not just to educate you, but to help within your transformation. Because from what I understand is that people won't always remember what you say, but they will always remember how you make them feel. So that is one thing that I focus on and what separates me is the fact of not just my story, not just the fact that I survived 2 strokes, not the fact that I was born with sickle cell anemia, but to the fact that, I want to be completely transparent. I'm an open book with closed chapters. There's no boundaries with me. There's no limitations with me. I'm just that person who wants to just, like I said, make the biggest impact that I can with the time that I have here on earth. So I think that is my separator, hands down.
That's big facts. Tell me, because I know a little bit of the story, but tell me what's gotten you to that point. Because I imagine you didn't come out the room with this confidence, with the desire to make a big impact. Because most people that I talk to, and actually, I don't even think I told you this. My little brother had sickle cell. Yeah, he had sickle cell, but for 22 years, and then he went ahead and decided to get the bone marrow transplant. But from my understanding is some people who live with that have a day-to-day mentality. They're just really trying to survive. And, when a pain crisis comes, that kind of shuts down everything, that kind of throws you off schedule. So tell me, what was your experience with living with the super cell? Because I know you don't like to refer to it as a sickle cell.
Exactly. And that right there, what you just said, that's the game changer. Because what's the first 4 letters of the word sickle?
Sick.
Do I look sick?
Nah, you look
I,
you look like
I,
you've been getting some sun, like you've been going for walks.
no, I believe that first and foremost, it's a mind transition, right?
Mhm.
And like you said, I didn't always have this confidence. I'll let you know the whole backdrop, and this is what makes me different is because I'm completely transparent.
Mhm.
I'm open in everything. My life started as a product of rape. You know what I mean? And I took my first smack before I took my first breath. So I was getting abused before I even came into this world. And so that semen that was sent to the womb, that right there, I feel like was given to me to be my gift. I carry that pain that my mother was going through at that time when she gave birth to me. So I will never get rid of sickle cell. I've had people ask me all the time about bone marrow transplant, stem cell transplant. I will never get rid of this because I believe that this is what makes me me. Upon being a product of rape, I grew up in a house of domestic violence. I watched my mother get beat on. I've seen her get disrespected in so many different ways. I've seen her get dragged across the living room floor.
Mhm.
So my life started with sheer chaos. And when you start within chaos, you don't start with confidence. You start with low self-esteem. You
Right.
start with lack of confidence, and you want to give up.
Right.
So that for me, over a course of my lifetime, throughout my whole life, to be honest with you, was the one thing that I had to go back and I had to make amends with. Like you said, you can't have professional development if you don't have personal growth first.
Mhm.
So I had to go back and face my demons and look at everything that I've been through, and I had to accept those demons and say, okay, you will not control me. And that's where my confidence started to grow. That's where that self-esteem started to, be raised to a higher level. And before I left out of corporate America, I had a manager who asked me one significant question, and that question resonates in my mind every day that I wake up. She asked me, she said, Marz, why are you afraid to be great? Now, many people ask that question, right? So I didn't even know what great was.
Mhm.
And when you think about what is great, you think about a level of success, right? You think about a level that you can get to. But what I came across this journey finding out is that greatness is who you become.
Mhm.
So by me being able to establish my own greatness at that point in time, that's when my confidence started to build, because it took a lot of years. Like I said, I had to go back and I had to face those demons. I had to accept being a product of rape before anything else. I had to accept the domestic violence. I had to accept, the fact of looking in my mother's face and asking her, Mommy, I need to know more about my procreation. And when you see your mother's countenance change and you see that face drop, and begin to tell you how disheartening it makes an individual feel, especially a man. If you love your mother the way that I love my mother, like, I will die for my mother. I will kill for my mother. I will do anything for her. But when you see that one individual's face and her countenance change, it makes you, you have no other choice. You have no other choice. So what I do is not for me. What I do is for my families, for my mothers, for my daughters, for my sister. I don't do any of this for me, because if I get wiped off this earth tomorrow, I have a legacy that says that at least he left this behind. At least he did something to create change. So, that's some of what I've gone through within my life, to put me in this position of saying, okay, I'm going to build my confidence. And by building my confidence, it took for me to build me. And I had to, become a master of myself. And when you look up the word master, that means that you take authority and ownership over the situation. So that's what I did.
Man, that's powerful. But take us to the nitty gritty, because there are people who are listening to this like, wait a minute, he said. He say rape? Did I hear him right? Wait, did I hear him right? Did he say rape? And I'm trying to imagine like the background, because you saying from New York, and was it basically you and your mom, or was it your mom and other boyfriends? And you seeing that? Yeah, take me behind the scenes. Like, if I'm from the perspective of little Marz, what am I seeing? What am I experiencing? And then don't shortchange me on the sickle cell experience before you turned it into super cell. Don't shortchange me now.
All right. So here we go. My mother and my father, they went to school together.
Yeah.
So they came up in the same town together, right? So it's not like they didn't know each other. They got married at 17. My mother was 17. My father was 20. I have an older sister. My older sister's 3 years older than me. Now, when she was born, she got the good part of life. She got the love. She got everything that was needed for a healthy family. Basically, when it came to me, the trajectory switched. I don't know what changed. All I know is that it became a very abusive relationship. My mother, she couldn't leave out the house. She was being controlled by my father. Like I said, very disrespectful. And I remember within the conversation that I asked her, I was like, I need you to tell me. And she was just like, you just don't know. I used to lay there just so that the beatings would stop. So it was her being put in a position of either you're going to give me intercourse or I'm going to beat the hell out of you. Right. So when it came to it, so when she told me that part of the story and she was like, you just don't know, I used to lay there just so that the beatings would stop. That's when the tears trickled down her face. And, so that was the procreation of Marz.
Right.
And that's where everything came from, because she didn't know that she was a trait carrier. She didn't know that the semen that was sent into the womb was a trait carrier. And the only way that you can get sickle cell anemia, as you know, Cam, is by having a trait plus trait. So she didn't know that was what was coming out of that whole situation. So my mother, she had to go into the military to escape for her life because my father stabbed her. And at that point in time, when she went into the military, I think I was somewhere around 5 years old. And I remember waking up in a crisis, a very bad crisis, and I couldn't breathe. And I really couldn't express the pain that I was in. All I could tell her was, Mommy, it hurts. And at that point in time, she took me and my sister. We went to the hospital. They did all the diagnosis. They ran the tests. And they came back and it was like, man, well, I don't know if you knew this, but your son has sickle cell anemia. And in order for him to live throughout the night, he has to have an emergency blood transfusion. Yeah. Because my red blood cells were so low that if I wouldn't have had that transfusion, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So over the course of time, I spent many of my years, days in and days out of the hospital, going in and out of crisis. At the age of 14 years old was my second near-death experience. I had gallstones. So I had to go for an emergency surgery where they had to remove my appendix and my gallbladder. That was while I was on the operating table. My gallbladder exploded.
What age was this?
This was 14.
14. So this is okay. So at this point, you've been dealing with it for almost 10 years. Okay, and then boom, we got to take you get your spleen your appendix taken out.
Appendix and gallbladder.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go. All right. Keep going. I'm listening.
All right. So after that, from 14 to I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Okay. So from 14 all the way to we moved to Alaska, and when we was in Alaska, I had problems with sickle cell whatsoever. At that point in time, I was at a different phase of my life, and I started facing the challenges of mental health, the depression, not wanting to be here, the suicidal thoughts, all that, is incorporated with having a chronic illness. So that was what I was battling at that point in time. When I graduated high school at 20 years old because my mentality changed. And, as you grow, you start, venturing out into different areas. So I started venturing out into different aspects of life, hustling, wanting to be the in crowd and things of that nature. So when I graduated high school, I moved down to
Marz, you was out there selling in Alaska. Who was you selling to? The SEALs?
Bruh, I'm telling you, don't ever knock the fact that what goes on in the lower 48 doesn't happen up in Alaska. Yes, it goes down, and there's mad money to be made up there. Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Yes.
So after graduating high school, I moved down to California, Los Angeles, California, because I was in pursuit of my music career. Unfortunately, the music career didn't come the way that I wanted it to because I lost sight of focus of what I was trying to accomplish. I ended up, with the gangbangers and again hustling in that regard. Still battling the mental challenges of the suicidal thoughts and wanting to give up. That my lifestyle became so corrupt that my stroke I had at the age of 22 after a long night in the studio, after a lot of drinking and smoking, and just damaging my body. I did not go to the doctor. Not one time I was down in Inglewood. Not one doctor visit that I go to. So I was destroying my body, those red blood cells that my mother fought so hard for at the age of 5 years old. I neglected. So I just completely gave up, right? So the change for me came that day because I tell you this, you don't know how much you don't want to die till you almost die, right? And that means that when I started to see like visions of that 8-year-old boy who was asking God to kill him in that hospital bed, and when I got off that bus, I could not move my left arm or my left leg. It just was a different mentality, So I wanted to give up at that point, but my mother flew me back to Alaska. We did I went to the doctor, got checked out. Everything was okay per their standards. After that, I went back to New York, and then once I got back to New York, that mindset that I had, it went right back into, hustling and being right back into the negative part of life. So I had one near-death experience that almost took my life. So then when I get back to New York, I go back to the same way of living.
Right.
Now, I speeded up a little bit at the age of 25 years old. My daughter was born. I started losing mobility within my left arm. Come to find out that my daughter is left-handed. So I really didn't lose my left arm. She has what I'm missing. Right. Now, we're going to speed it up again. 3 more years. 28 years old.
Okay.
I find myself being locked up, first-degree robbery, conspiracy to commit robbery, and larceny. The charges held anywhere from 5 to 20. For those specific charges, right? I didn't know what to do. Now, at that point in time, that was God showing me, like, you don't want this right here. This is not what you're looking for. So he had to put me in that position to show me exactly what it was that I didn't want. And when I saw that, when I was in that position, that's when I made my first covenant ever. And I asked God if he would get me out of that situation, I would never go back to living the way that I was living before. And once I came out, I think I spent 4 months in Hartford, Connecticut Correctional Center. And you probably asked me, how did I end up in Connecticut?
That sounds like some. You ever seen the movie This Is Us? Or not? No.
No.
When they see us about the Central Park 5, and then one of them, like, even though they was accused in New York, they all got shipped in different places. So is that what happened to you?
No, we actually got caught in Connecticut. We were in Connecticut when we got arrested. So I'm going to leave out my constituents and my counterparts. I'm not even going to include those.
Of course.
But we all got connected. We all got arrested at the establishment where everything went down. And the charges, like I said, were from 5 to 20. So, yeah, it was right there in Connecticut. But we left New York to go for what I thought was a music experience. I thought we was gonna go to like the radio and have like some music type of engagement.
So you still rapping?
But it wasn't that by far.
So you still rapping at this time?
This time I was, but I wasn't focused. I wasn't putting as much energy as I put into my empowerment that I should have been.
Okay.
Right, because I was so caught up into what the world had to offer. I was so caught up into what I thought that I wanted to be. I thought I wanted that thug life. You know what I mean?
And man, that's common in people that come from where you come from. that environment that I'm guessing it was lower economic background, single parent, single mom. You coming up in the streets and what you see is success. You see the rappers. They're the ones that got the money. They're the one that got success. So it makes sense.
Exactly. So that right there is what I was aiming for, and that was the one thing that was damaging me, right? But when I made that covenant, it was literally maybe a month after I made that covenant that my mother, she came up with the money. It was $10,000 to bomb me out, and my grandfather, he was the one who put up his house so that I could come down here to Georgia. So when they bonded me out, I came down here to Georgia, and I fought the case back and forth from Georgia to Connecticut. And on my 29th birthday, I beat the charges, hands down. So I enrolled into school to, think that I wanted to do working, and that wasn't what I wanted to do either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I hate the 9 to 5. I'll be honest with you. I hate the 9 to 5. I hate for people to tell me what to do. You know what I mean? I gotta. I have to have control over my life. I do. And I had a lady who was actually one of the teachers. She prophesied over my life. And this is the first time I ever knew about the word prophecy. And she was like, why are you doing what you're doing? You're supposed to be out there doing more. She was like, there's something about you. And Cam, not only have you told me that I had that it factor, there's been so many people that I've come across my journey who have told me I had the same it factor. So she was like, well, you're supposed to be out there empowering people. You're supposed to be mentoring. You're supposed to be out there showing people how they can overcome their challenges. And that right there is what changed my life. When she prophesied over me and she showed me that there was more inside of me, I just had to be willing to jump into the abyss of myself to go get it. Does that make sense? Does that bring it up to speed a little bit?
That makes sense. I just imagine that process is easier said than done, because at that point, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like at this point you're about 30 years old. You have 30 years of hustling, coming up in the street. At this point, you're still looking at sickle cell as sickle cell. You got a daughter, and it's you and your mom and your sisters. Everything in your life at that point is saying like the opposite. Like, okay, like you come from this background. You eventually gonna end up in jail. You just got out of jail, so you're lucky there. The next place is the grave. So everything to that point, like you saying, like like I'm seeing the mental challenges, I'm seeing the physical challenges, I'm seeing the background, and so it sounds like this is like the turning point of where it's like, okay, let me actually do something productive with my life rather than hustle in the street, being in. I don't know if you still rapping at the time. Maybe you went to Atlanta to hit the rap game in Atlanta. I don't know, but maybe that was like the shift that said, okay, it's time to do something serious.
It happened just like that, yeah. I started working for Piedmont Healthcare, and my manager, she became more like a spiritual guru for me, and she pulled me aside one day because I was transitioning into her department. And she asked me, she was like, why are you here? I was like, what do you mean, why am I here? I'm here because of the fact that I need to pay my rent. I need to pay my bills. I need to take care of my daughter. I need to do everything. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm here like everybody else. And she stopped me. She was like, no, you're not like everybody else. That's when she told me, you're supposed to be out there empowering people. You're supposed to be doing this and you're supposed to be doing that. Right? And at that point in time, I wasn't rapping anymore, Cam. I was doing spoken. So what she did was she challenged me, and she asked me, she said, have you ever performed spoken word? I said, no. I said, I'm looking forward to it. She said, okay, by such and such date, you're supposed to be out there. I want you to start doing, performing spoken word. When I took her challenge and I ran with it, everything started as a blaze of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Not stopped since. So I've been going at this since spoken word, and it's just been evolving. It's just been growing. It's just been doubling up. So this is where everything comes into connection with the supercells, because at a point I started going. I went to a symposium. You heard in my story, I have never been around people who had sickle cell, right?
Yeah. No, you sure didn't. You sure didn't say that. Yeah.
I never been around people with sickle cell. So this was the first symposium that I had been to where it was like people coming from across the country with sickle cell anemia. And we all was in Atlanta, and we was all staying at this hotel. So a guy that I met who was from Florida, we was walking to Lenox Mall one day, and he said, we was talking about sickle cell, and I don't like talking about sickle cell. And bro, before we even go any further, I said I don't have sickle cell. I have super cells. He was like, oh, you don't know what you just said. Now, at that point in time, I didn't know what I said because, I thought I was just saying something that was cool. But that became the mantra of my life. Like, I don't have sickle cell, I have super cells. And I started to put my mind in the set, and I have super cells, which actually strengthens me for what I have so that I can do what I need to do to make the impact that God has called me to make.
All right. What if I could show you exactly what's holding you back from reaching your greatest potential? What if I could help you see the most effective areas in your life that you should be spending the most time in instead of wasting it in all these other areas? What if I could help make your most intimate relationships even better? Would that interest you? Well then, my friend, I would like to welcome you into the jungle. The W2J program is designed to help you grow not just professionally, but personally as well. You're not only going to get a customized 22-page report that's going to show you what animal you are, your secret superpower, your weaknesses, your ideal environment to be most effective, communication style. It's going to show you it all. But I'm going to spend an hour with you so that you can implement it into your life immediately. So what are you waiting for? Click the link below this video, go to the website, and schedule your assessment and your appointment today. And now, back to the show.
So that is how I went from sickle cell to super cells. And like right now, I want that to be my legacy. I want super cells to be my legacy. Because like I said, I will never give up. I will never do a stem cell transplant. I will never do a bone marrow transplant. I just won't do it because I will feel empty without it. It makes sense.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm trying to understand because even though you ain't necessarily calling attention to it, you saying like the even though I might have a crisis from time to time, even though my blood I might need a transfusion from time to time, I might have this, I'm going to use this as a crutch. And I'm not saying like I don't get it. I understand like what exactly you're saying, but there are people out here who are saying, I'm sure that I listen to, that are saying, no, if I had a disease and I had the opportunity to get it away, I wouldn't use that to empower me. I would get rid of it. And that's the difference between a lot of people out there is they look at their ailments, they look at their issues. They don't see it as, they look at it as just that. They don't look at it as, I don't necessarily want to say God gave it to you, but God allowed you to have it. And God has not allowed that to keep you down, and you could use it to push you up. And that concept is new to me. I'll say for me personally, because I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had sickle cell, I'm like, hey, give me the transplant now. Here's my insurance. I'll spend the 100 days, the chemo, give me that so I don't get rid of that. And so like this concept for me personally is mind blowing. But what I'm curious about is what's made you so comfortable talking about all this? I mean, because you ain't talking about like light topics here. You talking about you done you was a product of rape. You used to hustle, used to sell, used to rob. You've been to jail. Like you seem mighty comfortable like talking about all this.
Because transparency is the number one thing to connect with people.
Facts.
Right? So if I don't tell you where I've come from and I've shown you the steps that I've taken to get to where I am now, you would think that I was just another person that was just coming in just to tell you some off the wall story. So my transparency is my connecting factor with the people. I don't see, here's the thing what's different about me. I don't care about death. We all got to meet our fate at some point, right? So I don't care about dying. Matter of fact, that's one of the things that I look forward to. And I think that that's why God still has me here, because he knows that there's no fear of death. Like, how can I run from anything that is the inevitable? When you look at it, I'm going to ask you this question in reverse.
Okay.
You said that basically you would go and you would get rid of what God allows you to have. So Superman, he has a power that kryptonite is the one thing that holds him down, right?
Right.
Has he ever tried to run away from his superpower? Has he ever said that I'm going to go back to Krypton where I know I'm going to experience pain, where I know I'm going to lose my power, and you know what I'm saying, I won't be as effective? Or does he go on with his day-to-day life?
He goes on with his day-to-day life, of course.
So I have to go on with my day-to-day life. Regardless, okay, this is how I look at it, Cam. Life is nothing but pain anyway. Regardless to whatever it is, whatever the situation, it could be emotional pain, it could be physical pain. Pain comes with life. There's no way that you can run from it. But if you embrace it and you accept it and you take ownership of it, who could take authority of that from you? If I don't give it to you, who could take authority from it? You know, you can't take it from me and you can't use it against me. You'll never be able to use rape against me. You'll never be able to use domestic violence against me. You'll never be able to use sickle cell against me. You'll never be able to use a stroke against me. You'll never be able to use the fact that I don't have usage of my left arm. You'll never be able to use any of that against me because I own it. I know my superpower. I know me as an individual. I'm not scared of me anymore. I have no limitations. I will outwork anybody with one arm versus their two arms. Why? Because I focus on solutions and not the problem. I know what the problem is. So if I wake up every day, Cam, and I say, oh my God, I have pain today. Oh my God, I have sickle cell. What is that going to do? That's going to put me in the mindset of negativity. That's going to put me back in the low self-esteem, lacking confidence. I've already been there. Why do I want to go back to a place where I've already been? That to me is like a dog that returns to his vomit. I've been there. The only place that I'm going now is to where God is calling me to go. And if he's calling me to go to the gates of heaven, I can't stop that. Matter of fact, I'll tell you this. This is not even my life. This is just borrowed time. I'm on borrowed breath. So every day I wake up, it's a gift, regardless if it comes with pain or what. It's an emotional scar. I'm not going to hold on to those scars no more. I have physical scars. There's nothing that you can do to me that I don't allow you to do. You feel me? There's nothing that you can hold over my head because I mastered who I am as an individual. And what people don't understand is that there's power in trauma. You understand what I'm saying? Trauma is nothing but a mental or emotional scar or a disability that we've encountered. But the power in that is the power that radiates in me all day. So why would I go back to a place where I'm desolate? Why would I go back to the place where I want to give up? Why would I go back to the mindset of saying that I want to be suicidal? I've done all that. Why would I want to go back to the place of saying that I want to hustle? Why would I want to go back around being around those same people that have nothing going for themselves? I've done that. Right? So now what's there for me to do? The thing left for me to do is to experience the next level of life. I have not seen that yet. But I'm on my way. And if I take everything that God gave me and I go with it, that's the only person that can stop me. So I'm going to take supercells with me everywhere I'm go. I'm going to take the immobilized left arm everywhere I go. I'm going to take the 2 strokes everywhere I go. I'm going to take the smudge of rape everywhere that I go. There's nowhere that I can go where that's not going to be, evident. I can't go anywhere where that's not going to be of who Marz is. That's my makeup. That's my DNA. I'm sorry that I had to be a product of rape to be here. I'm sorry that I had to experience sickle cell to get strength and endurance and perseverance. I'm sorry that I had to have 2 strokes that almost killed me to even respect the fact of what life really means. This is the Learning Institute for Experience. And I'm the individual that has gone through all these experiences to share my lessons with those that don't understand what it takes to see that you are limitless, that you are powerful in every extent of your life. Does that make sense?
Y'all see I done got this man riled up. Stop talking about this superset. I got this man riled up and excited. He said, "Oh man, it's on now." It's like, all right. Let me tell you something, sucker. Man, but man, I love it. But let me, cause you said a mouthful, and one of the things that came to mind is that you had to go through therapy. Like you had to go through some level of mental health counseling or I don't know who you saw, but tell me a little bit about that, because there are people who look at therapy as a part of the process that they can ignore when they've gone through like a painful circumstance, trauma, domestic violence, rape. Maybe not even that extreme. Some people might be just going through like depression. Some people might go through anxiety, and they think they can just kind of skip that part of the process of that part of their healing. You know what I'm saying? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Therapy was the number one thing that helped me grow, because people they don't want to go talk to anybody else about their problems. They want to hold it all in, right?
Right.
But at the time, if I hold it all in, I become a hoarder. So I'm no different from the people that's on TV that's walking around with all that junk that's inside of them. So I went to see a therapist, and I love to talk to people that have an unbiased opinion about my. Like I told you, I own everything about me. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing that you can say that's going to make me feel any way about myself. So I went to therapy, and I did a couple of sessions. Now, I will tell you this. My number one therapist has been God. What I do every day, Cam, is I do a thing that's called coffee and conversation. And that starts off my day. Like right now, this is my 3rd time reading through the entire Bible. And I started all the way from Genesis, and I've gone through every day. It tells you if your car breaks down or it has some type of mechanical glitch within it, where are you going to take it to?
You're going to take it to the mechanic.
You're going to take it to the mechanic, exactly. So if God gave me everything with supercells, if he gave me everything with rape, if he gave me the stroke, why would I not go to him about my problem? Everybody will say, "Oh, I'm." And here's the thing: I'm not gonna call myself a Christian because I don't believe in religion, but I do believe in spirituality, right? So I know where to go whenever I'm having a problem. And if that man, everything that he said in the book of promise was a promise, then that means that he can't negate his word. He can't go against his word. Like he told Abraham, I swore by myself because there was no name greater to swear by. That right there, that means that is one of the best promises that we can have, right? So that's where I went when I really was going through my therapy. And then when I go to my engagements, what do you think me talking to the people but a form of therapy? Mm-hmm. I'm still getting out everything that I have inside of me. I don't hold anything. I'm not gonna go back to that toxic place. I'm not gonna be Oscar the Grouch on Sesame Street. I'm not gonna sit there in that funk because I don't want to talk to nobody. Nah, man, I'm going to talk to whoever's going to listen. I'll talk to the bum on the street if he'll listen. I'll talk to anybody that's going to give me an ear, because the outlet is the best thing that I have. So counseling comes from not only a therapist. Counseling can come from you, Cam, if you're willing to give me just 10 minutes of your time just to hear me get to vent. I'm do it. When I go to my engagements and I'm talking to my audience, what am I doing? I'm not doing nothing but venting. What am I doing right here? I'm not doing nothing but venting. All I'm doing is getting off my chest anything that I may have on my chest. And that's a form of therapy. It don't got to be a counselor. It don't got to be anybody that got a PhD or, you know what I'm saying? It don't got to be any of that. It just got to be you knowing and being comfortable with who you are as an individual. And I'm so comfortable in this skin that I will go to anybody and talk to any about anything that I got going on, because I know who Marz is. There's nothing in this world that can stop me except me. And that is the most powerful thing. If I look in the mirror every day and I see the individual that I'm in competition with, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to make him the best version of me that people will see, because I'm showing you my inside by my outer work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Go. Shit. I ain't want you to stop. I was like, hey, he going in today. Go.
So I'm not doing nothing but. Every day, I'm just counseling. You know what I'm saying? Every day, I'm ridding myself of the stuff that I've been hoarding in. I mean, I'm 45 years old, Cam, so look at it like this. I still have demons that are inside me that I have to face. I haven't faced every demon yet. But the more that I talk about my experiences, the more that I can show you the things that I've been through. And then if I give you the principles on how to make yourself better so that you can develop, so that you can grow, so that you can evolve, so that you can put yourself mentally in a better space, this right here is the most powerful weapon that we have, but it's the most underused weapon that we have, because people are so afraid of themselves. I'm not afraid of myself, man. I'm not afraid to die. I don't care anything about this life because I don't own it. I don't own my breath. This is lended to me. I can't even go to God and say, let me buy another day. You know what I'm saying? I can't go to him and ask him for more than what he's already given me. So I'm going to make the best of what it is that I have, regardless if I have functioning arms, regardless if I have sickle cell. I don't care what it is, Cam. I'm going to do what I need to do for me, because there's nobody in this world that's going to do anything more than what I'm going to do for myself. And I'm not going to run from me. I'm right here, 10 toes down. Immobilized left arm, immobilized left leg, sickle cell anemia, product of rape, whatever it is. I'm here, 10 toes down. I'm still breathing. God still has a purpose for me. You tell me somebody right now that sees that and understands exactly what that is, because that's what I'm here. I'm here for that. I'm here to show an individual that there's nothing that takes you out more than you take yourself out. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody that I won't speak to. There's nobody that won't feel my spirit. And that's why I say empower, because you feel me touching your spirit right now. You feel the power of me radiating inside you right now. It's not about, I'm not here to motivate you. I don't care about motivation. I'm only here to show you exactly what I did for myself, to show you that it's possible for you to do the same for yourself. But the difference between me and you is that you won't do the work. I'll do the work every time. And out of doing the work every time, guess what? I'm going to get the results that I want every single time.
You good? You need to breathe. You need a towel. You need some water, sir. You got his water. Okay, he's ready. Making sure. I don't need you passing out on the podcast. So walk me through your. I won't even say journey. I'll say your call to speak, because you went from spoken word to now transitioning to speaker. And so, who are we targeting with the empowerment? Because I know you saying you don't like to refer to it as sickle cell. So in my mind, I'm imagining you maybe don't want to talk to people with sickle cell. Maybe you do. I don't know. Like who are we targeting with your message?
I target people who come from social economic background. I target people who first-time college students. I target people who have mental health challenges, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. I target people who have disabilities. You know what I'm saying? And those right there are people that need the empowerment, because they need to see that just because they're in a certain position or come from a certain background, that does not define who you are as an individual. So I don't, and I have, I have a difficulty when I say this, because people really aren't going to understand. I don't care about sickle cell. So I don't talk to people with sickle cell anemia, but I care about people who have sickle cell. If that makes any type of sense to you, it makes 100% sense to me.
Let me see if I follow. You said you don't care about the disease, but you care about people that have
it. Exactly. Because it's just like a person who has cancer. They don't care about cancer. They just want to get through that time of their life. But they care about the people that it affects. Right? The reason why I don't focus on the sickle cell community is because, for one, how can I say this? For one, I don't victimize myself. Right? And when I say victimize, they focus on just sheerly being sick. Oh, I gotta go to the hospital. Oh, I'm in so much pain. Oh, I'm in this. Oh, they got me on this prescription. Oh, my doctor's. Bruh, can I tell you something? I wake up every day at 4 o'clock every day. By 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I'm in the gym for 2 hours, and I'm rehabilitating my body. Sickle cell is in that equation.
Right.
There's not one time that I make an excuse over why I can't do something. So you know what I'm saying? I don't victimize myself. I've already done that. So there's no point for me to sit there and continuously talk about the problem. If I go talk to the sickle cell community, I'm constantly talking about the problem. Right? But if I talk to you about the solution, are you going to put forth the work that's necessary to do, to overcome the challenges? Right? I know what that pain is. I know what it is to be in a hospital bed weeks upon weeks. I know what it is to experience near-death situations. I know all that. So why do I continuously want to talk about that right there? Let's talk about the solution. Let's talk about how to overcome the challenge. Let's talk about making you a better individual. Right. And the one thing that requires that you're not going to do is you're not going to do the work, because you victimize yourself. There's a quote that says you cannot become a victor by being a victim.
Oh yeah,
right?
Victor versus victim mindset. It's a mindset.
Exactly. So therefore, I don't like to go back to places where I've already come out of.
Like a dog.
Because one of the things. Exactly. So once I've come out of that place, what's the point of me? I mean, I go back and I share. I'll talk to them. Don't get me wrong. I'll talk to them, but that's not my focus. I don't put energy in that, because there's other people that need to see that was my starting point. That was the thing that made me, and this is the thing that has helped me grow, that I use to help me evolve. Does that make any? It makes sense to me. So it really, I mean, I'm just asking you, but it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me, I don't go back to places where I'm gonna victimize myself.
Yeah, I get it, because it sounds like the whole environment reminds you, and not I won't even say reminds you, but it puts you in a victim mindset. You sitting there looking at people who's either going through a crisis or just finished going through a crisis. You got people who are assisting that who are dealing with the victim mindset, and here you are with the victor's mindset. You're trying to come in, but when you are in the environment, it can literally bring you down, and it could throw off your whole speech. Honestly.
Of course.
So
Of course.
yeah, I get it. And honestly, like you, and obviously you know this, but yeah, this message isn't just for people with supercell, but it's also people who come from diverse backgrounds, who come from where you ain't start off in the best circumstances, whatever that looks like for you. Like, but you can't overcome it. But you have to change your mindset. You can't look at it as sickle cell. You have to look at it as supercell. And like, this is not, if I survive being a product of this, if I survive going to jail for a robbery, for all these circumstances, what? I'm gonna complain about sickle cell that I've had my entire life, and I mean, clearly it's manageable. It's not like it's unmanageable. Clearly, you said you getting up and going to the gym every day. Clearly, it's something that you can deal with. It's not. It clearly, you said you got a daughter, so I'm guessing that means it ain't hurting your love life. So, like, what's the? I'm just being honest here. I'm just saying.
No, that's true. Because here's the thing, bro. Let me go ahead and say this too. All right. Basically anybody who has like a chronic illness, and this really goes for like people who have, like chronic pain that they can't deal with.
Yeah.
What they'll do is they'll put them on the opioids. They'll put them on the Dilaudid. They'll put them on the Teradol. They'll put them on the oxycodone, right?
Painkillers.
And it's just like the scientists who created Frankenstein. There was a point where it got to that the scientists couldn't control Frankenstein anymore, right? Okay, so at the age of 8 years old, I literally told my mother while we was in the hospital, do not let them give me any more of this Dilaudid or whatever that was that they were injecting in the IV. Literally at 8 years old, I told her, do not let them give that to me anymore because it's not helping. So basically what I'm saying is that you have all these doctors that's creating all these Frankensteins because you put them on all these different narcotics. If you know anything about Dilaudid, if you know anything about Teradol, if you know anything about these narcotics, it's nothing but heroin. So you're causing me to be a drug addict. And if I come into your office and I'm asking you for something that's going to help manage my pain, and then you turn around and say that I'm a drug seeker, who made the drug addict? Am I going to get mad at the person who sold me crack because I was the one using the crack? Am I going to get mad at the person that was selling me the heroin because that felt good to me?
Yeah.
Nah. You feel me? So I have been off of the point that I'm making is that I've never taken any of them narcotics since I was 8 years old. I've been through every crisis, and I know how to manage my pain. I know how to just take it, and I know how to just deal with it because it's all a mindset. And I'm not saying that there's people that don't need it, but the thing about it is that don't tell me that I'm a drug seeker and you're the one that created the drug addict, right? So therefore, I don't take narcotics. I don't take Dilaudid. I don't take pain medicine. I don't take oxycodone. I don't take none of that stuff, bro. I know how to deal with what God gave me, and that's why I said when you take your car back to the person, the mechanic that designed it or knows all about your car, bruh, what's he gonna do? He's gonna fine tune me in the areas that is desolate or the problem wherever the glitch is. That's where he's gonna fine tune. Did he not say that he was your healer? Did he not say that he's the way maker? Did he not say that if you come to me and lay down your burdens, I will give you he would give you rest. All this comes with faith. All this comes with belief. All this comes with knowing that, okay, this is where I can go. And the thing about it is people are scared to go there because they're going to have to face some demons, because they're going to have to face some hurt. One thing I love about sickle cell anemia is that I'm in pain every day. So if I'm in pain every freaking day, how can you tell me what hurts? I know what pain is. I know what hurts. Life hurts. Do you run and say, oh, I can't live this life anymore?
Mm-hmm.
No, you deal with it. So it's the same thing with sickle cell. I deal with it, but I change the way that I look at it. My perspective is that I'm no longer sick. My perspective is that I'm super in every aspect of my life. Every aspect. You know what I mean? Because at some point in time, like I keep reiterating, we're going to ultimately meet that fate. I'm not scared of it. I met it twice. I'm not scared of it, bruh. I really am not. I'm not looking forward to it, but I don't run from it. Because if I run from it, I'm trying to run from myself. There's nowhere that I can go that I can hide from myself, because even in that place that I try to hide, guess what? If I look up, who's there?
Mm-hmm.
I am. Hello? I'm there every single time. So I don't run from anything. And that's why my journey has been a journey of different experiences. It wasn't just sickle cell anemia. It wasn't just a stroke. It wasn't just a rape. It wasn't just a domestic violence. I'm a big globule of different experiences, which those experiences incorporated come to life.
Right. I was just about to ask you, where did the Learning Institute come from? Where did the inspiration from that come from?
That came from God. That came from God. One day I was having a text message. I was texting somebody. He had said something, and I was like, bruh, that's just life. That's the Learning Institute for Experience. And the more that I broke it down, who's the institute? I'm the institute, because every day I'm learning something from a new experience. Mm-hmm. So that means that I'm the Learning Institute for Experience. Everywhere that I go, I'm learning something. Everywhere that anybody is, you are the institute that's learning something. Tell me one time in this lifetime, whether negative or positive, that you haven't learned anything.
Oh, well.
I'll wait.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So, therefore, like I told you, I'm not just here just to motivate. I'm here on assignment. I don't know how quick or short my assignment is going to be, but I'm here on assignment to do exactly what I was called to do. And it took me a whole lot of time to get to this point. You feel me? So, therefore, I'm a messenger. Like they say, don't shoot the messenger. I'm only coming to bring you a message. I'm only, and the crazy thing is this, Cam. I'm not even the president. I'm not the CEO of my company. I'm the president. God is my CEO. So then, therefore, if I work for him, that means that I need to know exactly what assignment that you need to put me on. Where am I going? Who do I need to talk to? So that means that I need to constantly be in contact with my CEO every day, right?
Right.
In order for me to be effective, in order for me to do your will, in order for me to reach the people that he needs me to reach, even through this podcast, this is for me to send the message. Never to give up, never to quit, never to tell yourself that you can't do something, because you can endure and persevere every situation. Matter of fact, here's a quote: circumstances don't make a man. They only reveal him to himself. So every circumstance that I've been through, every situation that I've encountered, all it did was reveal to me the inner strength that I have. That's it. That's it.
Man, I hear you. And I think but I don't want to shortchange it, because it takes a process. Like, people going through, I mean, Kendall, when he's saying, he like, how long did it take you to get to where you get to? He said he'll say 50 some odd years is how long it took him to get to where he gets through, to where he got to. And so I say that to say, people have to listen to your story and pay attention to the fact that, yo, it took you said 45 years to get you to where you are currently. And even then, you only started to turn the ship, like you said, within like 15 years ago. Like, you still had to go through that. You still had to go through the hustles. You had to go through the strokes. You had to go through the pain crisis. You had to go through looking your mom in the face and talking about your past, talking about her past. You had to go through learning that corporate America ain't for you. You had to go through becoming a father. You had to go through all these different experiences to get to where you are today. And I think people got to understand that you are in the middle of that. Like those people that listen to this that are going through like their go through, like you got to realize you're in the middle of it. So don't stop at the midway point or even the beginning point. For you, like your first crisis wasn't even the beginning of who you are now. You weren't even close to that. And so I want to make sure that people are listening to you and saying, dang, but it took you 45 years to get here. Like
it took 45 years to get here.
Yeah. So I don't want to shortchange that. Yeah.
But also at the same time, I really want them to understand this, is that there's no part of the process that you can skip. We always want to skip processes. We always want to skip steps.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? But the steps that you skip, it'll bring you right back to that same lesson that you was trying to skip or trying to miss. There's not a lesson that I skipped or tried to miss. Mm-hmm. I took everything on the chin. Right now, I might not have liked it. I might have had my contentions about it, but I never tried to skip it because it was gonna happen either way. Because like I said, the mindset that I was in, that victim mindset, that's what tried to stop me. Like it's not the outside factor that tries to stop you. It's the inside factor that you're trying to run from that stops you. So therefore, it's not the enemy that was trying to kill me. It was the inner me that was killing me. You feel what I'm saying?
Not the enemy, I've been around a lot. Hold on, bar alert. Can't skip that. Not the enemy, but the inner me. My own victim mindset, my own thoughts of self-doubt, how I viewed myself. That was the biggest obstacle, not even the enemy.
Nah, because you got to face the inner you. At some point, you're going to have to face that person. At some point, you have to put yourself and look yourself in the face and say, you're the one that's damaging me. You're the one that's doing this to me. There's nobody outside of you that can do anything to us more than what you're doing to me. So I need you to either get it together or I need you to lay it down. One of the two. And 9 times out of 9, Cam, I'm not even going to leave an option for it. 9 times out of 9, people are not willing to lay down. So you're going to take that one option and you're going to get yourself together. Now, if it takes you 45 years or 50 years, that's just the time that it was supposed to take you to get yourself together. But you have no other option. You either do or you don't. That's it. And that's hands down, that's life. God does not give you an option. You either do or you don't do. And if you don't do, guess what? You don't get what you're rewarded for. You don't get what you're looking for. Let me say that. Everybody wants something, Cam. Let me tell you, when you woke up today, did you tell yourself, I want to stay in this position? I'm good where I am. And you may have like the best lifestyle. You know, you have a wife, you have a family. You know, there's something that everybody wants, right? Mm-hmm. But there's nobody that wakes up any day, I don't care what day it is, and says, oh, I'm good right here. I'll stay here. There's not a person that's living out on the street that says that I'm comfortable living on the street. There's not a person out there that says that I don't want a meal today. I want something more than what I have. And that's every person, because that's the inner makings of an individual. That's the heart of a man. The heart of a man, female, child, everybody wants something more than what they have. It's a natural thing. But if you don't do the work, you will never get what you want.
Right.
Whether you have one arm, no arms, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, it don't matter. But if you continuously keep destroying yourself, you'll never know what you can get.
Don't complain about what you don't got.
Exactly.
Do something with what you do have.
Complain about what you do have. Exactly. And see, the difference, like I said, the difference between me and everybody else is I'm willing to lay down or I'm willing to go ahead and do what I got to do to change who I am as an individual. So I took what I needed to take. I went through those experiences. I got the lessons. I'm not looking to repeat them, so I'm not going back to the vomit. I'm moving forward because I know what's back there. If I don't know what's in the future, if I don't know what's ahead of me, Why am I going to be fearful of that? When fear is only something that's made up in your mindset. You know how they say fear is false evidence appearing real? Yeah. I say face everything and rise. Whatever it is that you go through, face it all and continue to rise every chance you get.
Damn. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for the Marz Bishop, the CEO of. Hold on, don't let me mess it up.
I'm the president of Life Inc.
Life Inc. Boom. I was gonna try to sell it out, but I was like, nah, let me not even do that. I ain't even gonna butcher it. But tell people where they can find you, man, because I hear that you're going on tour this fall.
Yes, sir. We're putting together a 20 state tour. We're splitting it up. We're doing a 10 cities for the fall semester. We're doing 10 cities for the spring semester. So anybody that really is looking for someone to come in and empower their first generation students from socioeconomic backgrounds, students with disability, anybody that's looking for somebody to come in and empower their staff, professional development, I have no limits. I have no boundary. You can connect with me on my website, which is Life Inc. Movement. That's LifeIncMovement.com. Or you can find me on social media, Marz, that's spelled M-A-R-Z, Bishop, BISHOPGL. And what the GL stands for is Global Life. So you better catch me right here in the States before we go global. Because I promise you, once God unloosens the chains, I'm not coming back.
The price going up.
Oh, enormously.
The price is going up. So wait, before we get out of here, you telling me if the American Sickle Cell Association gave you $20,000 to come speak, you wouldn't come speak?
Bruh, I didn't say I was foolish. I didn't say I was.
They said $20,000 right now. I got you. You come speak at our conference. Come talk to our staff.
Bro, I'm right there. I'm on the. You pay for my. You book the flight and book me my hotel arrangements, and you give me everything that my team is asking for. I'm there. I'm there. This is a business. It's not. It's nothing personal. It's all business.
Absolutely. So what's next for you, Marz? Because I know you working on the tour. You got books. You're killing it right now. I know you hustling, you connecting, you going wherever. You going to community college, you going to college, you going to wherever you going to. But what's the next phase for the Life Institute and for Marz?
The next thing for Life Inc. is just to continue to be a servant, just to continue to empower the people that God puts me in front of. I just really, like I said, I just really want to leave a legacy to show individuals that there's no limitations. I really want to, as much as I want to take, say I want to eradicate the stigma, I know that's an untruth because there's always going to be stigmas that people have. But if I could do what I was called to do and do it to the best of my ability, I think that that's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking to be rich. I'm not asking to be wealthy. I'm just asking to be the servant and the messenger for where my CEO is telling me to go. That's it. Hands down, I have no expectations.
Big facts. All right, so closing question. Look into the camera, and you done spoke to people's heart the whole episode. But close it out with the people who come from backgrounds similar to yours, and give them one last word of encouragement for them to take home from this podcast episode. Like I said, you've been doing it all episode, but leave them one more nugget to take home back to their hood, back to their environment, and turn the victim mindset into a victor's mindset.
Okay, this is what I want you to understand. He who has a beautiful vision, a lofty idea within his heart, will one day realize it. Hands down.
Damn, can't close it out no better than that. Y'all, do me a huge favor. Go follow Marz on social media. He drops every day on his stories. He drops him being like he's touring, and even during COVID, he getting gigs. He's still going. He said, "COVID what? I don't know if you got the vaccine. That ain't none of my business." But he's still coming to your city. You pay the money. Yeah. He coming your way, and he coming to empower your student and your staff. So do me a favor, go follow him on the social media. We're gonna build his social media up so he can demand more than what he's doing now. But also, y'all know how we do this. We are doing this every single Thursday to help you create your version of the good life. Y'all go subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on the audio platforms, share this with somebody who really needs this, because y'all know this was a good one. So y'all know what to do, and till then, we'll see you next week.
Here's one more thing before we go, Cam. I am the Pfizer to your COVID. To your COVID mindset, I am the Pfizer to vaccinate you. So if you're really looking for that vaccination, if you're looking for somebody to help you through this crisis, this pandemic, it doesn't only start right here. It starts within your mind. I'm the Pfizer vaccination that you need.
Boom. Got to do it. We'll see you next week, y'all.